This video is sponsored by Professional Photographers of America. All right, guys, so check out this spread right here. I thought this was going to be a pretty slow year, and right now this is looking like anything but. There are so many cameras right now. I've got some really cool shoots scheduled in with all of this stuff right here, so stay tuned. Actually, if you haven't subscribed just yet, or if you're not hanging out with me on IG, you're missing out, so definitely subscribe now, and let me know what of these things you are really curious about seeing or what you're the most impressed with in the comments. I actually have some more stuff down here that I haven't even unboxed yet, so we're going to check that out in a little bit later in the video. But definitely hit me up if there's anything specific you would like to see, because I have all of these shoots coming up, and I actually have something really awesome. I'm actually heading out to Imaging USA, which is January 16th through 18th, and if you've never been, it's incredible. The expo alone is 50,000 square feet of pure photography inspiration. You're gonna have access to over 100 exhibitors featuring the latest photography products and services, product demos, exhibits, including the work of former White House photographer Pete Souza. I'm a huge fan of his. And also there's some mini educational sessions to give you guys some tips and advice for your business and craft. And if you join PPA right now, you can actually get a free all-access pass to Imaging USA, including all of the classes, keynotes, as well as like the evening activities and special events. So I will be heading there this January. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys. So check out the description of this video for a free ticket to the expo, or join PPA right now and you can attend the entire conference for free. Now, since I'm actually getting back to travel again, the first two things that I got were actually some brand new travel cases right here. I have the Manfrotto Pro Light Tough 55, and this is a hard case. It holds a ton of gear in it. I use this a lot for video. It is completely lockable, and it also is IP67 water resistant. So that's kind of my roller of choice for video. And then for photography, I'm actually going to be using this the most for weddings. This is the Manfrotto Advanced 3. Also holds a ton of stuff on here and is just some really unique storage places, both on the side, tons of pockets inside. It also has a laptop sleeve, which I'm a huge fan of. So we'll be rolling that around at PPA as well. Now, before we get to the cameras, probably the biggest update that I've made this year is going to be this. This is a Synology DS2422 Plus, and I don't normally get too excited about storage, but yeah, when it's something like this, it is a big deal. And I got this because I've been using Synology drives for probably about like 5-6 years now, and they have completely changed my life. Literally every computer I have in my studio, in my home, my laptops, they're all backed up, either wired via Ethernet or wirelessly. My external drives even get backed up to this. And also all of my finished projects get placed inside of this drive. And the best part is, from anywhere in the world with internet access, I can get every file I have ever had from any computer. It doesn't even have to be from my computer that I'm accessing the stuff on, or I can actually access everything from my phone directly, and I can share it without having to upload it through cloud storage. So basically, the Synology Storage Center gives you all of these abilities built into that. So my current 50 terabyte version is now full, so I'm expanding to this, which has 12 drives in it. I'm using these Seagate Iron Wolf drives on here. These are 10 terabytes, and I have like 10 of these that are going in here. So doubling my storage bay. Plus, this is a 12 bay unit, but you can actually upgrade this to another 12 bays, so 24 bays total with some expandable storage. Now, if this is a little big for you, I will go ahead and link my favorite that I was using it before, that has about 4 bays in there, which is going to be enough for most people to get started. But yeah, if you have never used these Synology NAS drives, I highly recommend them. Now, the next thing I have that just came in, I'm gonna actually move these cameras aside because these are coming next, but is going to be this. This is the Anker 521 portable power station, and there's a secret trick of why I actually love these so much. This is actually the second one that I've gotten, and so I use them a ton. Obviously, when I'm traveling, when we get hit by hurricanes, because I live out in Florida. This thing is awesome. It has 2 wall outlets on here, a DC car socket. You have 2 USB-A ports, a USB-C port that can actually put out 60 watts. And so, yeah, this is an absolutely amazing, basically power station on here. But here is my secret use for this. this can actually power my studio LED lights. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars on V-mount batteries, or if you have LED lights that don't have any battery options, like this light right here, which is the Amran 100D, it actually will not power via V-mount batteries. It doesn't have any attachment point. I can actually power this light no problem straight from this. I actually did a video a little while ago where I powered all of my LED lights from my studio, my laptop, my desk, movable desk right here, and all of my external hard drives straight from one of these units. So yes, it is my emergency power option, but if you guys are photographers or videographers out there, use this to power things like fans to add wind to a model. I've used it to power a portable fridge to store drinks, LED lights, laptops, basically anything about under 100 watts will be absolutely fine for this. And you can also charge your phone about 20 times on it. So it also recharges in about 3 hours, or actually just under 3 hours, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, this is my go-to battery backup option. However, it is so much more. Power on some lights with this and you can do some really cool stuff. All right, so now let's talk cameras. I actually have 3 cameras to show you, 2 here and 1 more in a box. This is the Canon R3, and I've actually had this for a few months. And I'll say this is an incredible camera in every way. It is actually way lighter weight than you would think when you're looking at this. It makes a huge difference when actually using it. It comes off to me as like a jack of all trades, but a master for sports, wildlife, photojournalism, anything like that. But I will say this, the Canon R5, which I actually have back there, is so good that unless I'm actually shooting sports, wildlife, or journalism, I end up using the R5 a little bit more, which seems weird to me. On the other hand, like Sony's A1 is basically better than all of their other cameras. And actually, I'd say the same thing about the Nikon Z9. It's basically better than all of their other cameras, but the Canon R3 is one of those things that's more specially built for things like sports, wildlife, photojournalism are kind of my main favorites with it. And again, it's nothing wrong with this. It's absolutely an awesome camera. The biggest difference is going to be that lower resolution sensor that it gives you, but you're going to get that high speed output, which is going to allow you to do 30 frames per second without any kind of shutter wear, full silent if you want to. So yeah, really amazing camera. Got some really cool stuff coming up with this, but it just came off to me as being slightly lower than the R5 in a few areas. So I don't use it quite as much as I thought I would. Now this one I just got in, and this is the Nikon Z9. And I'll say this, I am actually the most excited about this camera right here because Nikon also has the most to prove. And the reason I'm excited is because in theory, Nikon gave us something that even the Sony A1 and the Canon R3 don't directly compete with. This is a workhorse tank camera, and I mean, it is incredibly well built. It feels like you could just run over this with a car and it would be fine. And that's something that the A1 probably can't quite say. And this thing still shoots 45 megapixels, 20 frames per second in RAW, 30 frames per second if you don't mind JPEG, and 120 frames per second if you go into like 11 megapixel mode. Also, this camera literally doesn't have a shutter, and that's because Nikon claims this is the fastest readout sensor ever. So basically you don't even need a shutter. This is just to protect the sensor on here. And so it delivers everything in electronic shutter, no shutter wear at anything like that. You can do fully silent if you want to, and you should not see anything like rolling shutter, banding. All of that should be eliminated because the sensor reads out so quickly. Plus for video, this thing can shoot 8K 30 out of the box with an update with 8K 60. And then this thing can shoot oversample 4K up to 120 frames per second, ProRes or ProRes RAW, all of it in camera. And you can do all of this for hours without overheating. So the question is, can it really do all of that without any potential drawbacks? In reality, when we actually take this out, how does the dynamic range hold up? How does low light hold up? Does the autofocus slow things down if it can't really keep up with fast moving objects? So these are all the questions I'm going to be answering in the next few weeks. Stay tuned. I am so stoked about this camera right here. All right, so the last camera I have, we'll make some room right here, is going to be this guy right here, it actually just came in today. It was actually supposed to be in like 3 days ago, but FedEx has managed to lose virtually every package that I have had through them over the past couple of weeks. So yeah, in fact, this right here, this drone has actually been late about 11 days before it showed up. I was pretty sure this thing was lost somewhere. So I don't know what's been going on with FedEx, but this is the A74. And I am pretty excited about this because if you've been watching, you know I've actually had this camera since it first came out. You can check out a full review with this camera, but it is absolutely awesome in so many different ways. And I'll say this about it. It did have a few limitations where I thought that Sony kind of could have done a little bit better in a few areas. However, for me, this has really been a perfect B camera to just about everything. And I've got some more videos coming out on this to kind of explain all of that reasoning, but it was good enough that I actually bought one. It finally came in now. Thanks FedEx for making this a little bit late, but yeah, this is the Sony A74, and I am pretty stoked about being able to use this over the next couple of weeks for some really cool jobs I've got coming up. So another really big release that just arrived a couple of days ago was this. This is the 7200 f2.8 GM2. I think a couple of people got theirs a little while ago, but again, this is another thing that I've actually been using since it first got announced. I've got a full review on it already, but it was good enough that I actually bought one myself. This is such a lightweight lens. It's deceivingly lightweight for the size of it, and it's something that I ended up using so much that the quality on it, it's just amazing. Has probably the fastest AF system on any camera right now, and it is up there in price, but with all of these improvements, it really justified it. And I use a 7200 lens quite often, so that was going to be my go-to for that. Just got that in, and I have been using it a lot in the last couple of days. Now, this one actually came out a few months ago, but I just got it in. To my defense, I actually was supposed to be in before Christmas, but FedEx was 11 days late with this one. So I have no idea what happened. I was pretty sure it was lost in the mail, but it did show up. And I honestly, I haven't been flying drones as much as I used to. Plus, DJI's Air 2S was so good for the quality of what I am doing, at least with drones, that I didn't think that I was really going to update at all. Honestly, I wasn't quite sure if the upgrade was going to be worth it, but here I am a few months later. I do have it now, and we'll be finding out if the quality improvement is really worth paying more than double the price of my current favorite drone, the Air 2S. So that's gonna be a lot for this to do, but we'll see if they're up to the task. But yeah, shoots with all of this stuff coming up, and I get to spend a couple of days putting all of my backup stuff right on this. I'm curious if you guys have something specific you want to see with all of this stuff. Also, let me know what you guys are excited about. I don't know if you got something for Christmas, bought something to use some kind of tax rebate at the end of the year. Who knows? Hang out with me. Please hit subscribe and all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to stay tuned for all of this kind of stuff, definitely come say hi to me at Imaging USA. If you guys are going there, it's going to be awesome. I will have a lot of this stuff with me out there. And then the question is, which am I going to shoot with first?